How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow?
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
New York.
What up, world?
Unique New York. Unique New York.
We're warming up. We're testing. Mics. What up? My name is Nate Poole. You see who it is. It's always a good time with this man. Monsters Living Room. We're here with the one and only
Gerran Reese. Hey.
Gerran Reese is in the building. Hello,
guys?
sir.
Hi. How are you?
I'm splendid. I'm
Yes.
happy. I'm happy to be in the living room. I love the living room. I'm a big
too.
fan of this area because I get to sit down with some of my favorite people and I get to
Yes.
chop it up.
I've been seeing it, man. Like, you've been killing it.
Thank you, man. It's been truly an honor.
Yeah,
Really, I've
definitely.
enjoyed this outlet, and it's a great moment and an opportunity for us to highlight some of our beautiful faculty members and get beyond. The classroom goes by really quick. And
Today.
Today.
So fast.
And you try to get as much in as you can, but here we get a chance to at least scratch the surface. At least we can dive into some topics.
Definitely.
You just said you've classed today.
Yeah.
So you taught all 3 classes today.
Yes, I did.
3 classes out of Monsters. How'd it go?
It was really, really good. I mean, this is my first time teaching in Nashville for the tour, and expectation was already like high, and now I'm blown away. I'm inspired.
Yeah.
Everyone here is super soulful, amazing, musicality on point. Everyone here to me is just really embodying like the monster spirit. So I'm happy right now. I'm tired, but I'm happy.
You started with the advanced room.
Yes, advanced room. I've already started like high level.
Right. Seriously. So what is that? Because we've always talked about it, Monsters.
Yeah.
It's interesting the way your day flows. Do you are you the first class in the advanced room, and that can kind of dictate, okay, what kind of energy do I want to come with to kick the day off. Yeah. So I guess generally, first class of the day, advanced room. Like, what is your intention walking into that ballroom on a Saturday morning?
Wow. I think the biggest part for me is owning the space, making sure that the dancer is starting off the day owning the space. I feel like sometimes we go in and we strip ourselves of all the training. So it's almost like we kind of go in like with nothing. And I'm like, no, let's start with everything that we already have. Let's acknowledge that we have come here. This is like many cities that you've been to. Let's just embody that. Let's keep piling on to what we've done from the last city.
Yeah.
So I think I'm always trying to make sure that people are owning the space, owning who they are, and also to really paying attention to why they're in that room.
Yeah, the why.
The why. Because I feel like
Understanding
sometimes you start and you're just like, I just want to kill it. But I'm like, no, you have one class out of like so many throughout the whole day. Right. Let's be a little more mindful. Let's be meaningful with what we're going to set our intention for the whole day. And let's start with this, and then let's move to this. I think every class should have a different type of intention. So I'm kind of opening their minds to start in a very present place, but then also to prepare themselves for the full day.
Incredible. Now, depending on, those values and those general themes, can those ride in any vehicle of any combo or track? Or do you really want to make sure, like, are you overly cognizant of like, does this phrase, does this piece of choreography, does this drive home that message? Are we going to be able to get to where I want to go with this piece? How much analyzing do you do about or considering what you want to pull up with in the advanced room? Because I know today you used a song with an artist that you've worked with.
Yes,
right,
definitely.
Right.
Yeah, and so for me, I think I do it by the season.
Okay.
So I think last year I was very artistically expressive. I was being very selfish with my art. I said, I just want to say what I want to say, and I want you guys to roll with it and to just flourish it in your own way. Be inspired by what I'm giving, but I want to see you paint the way that you want to paint. This year, I feel like I'm definitely more gearing towards finding your authenticity within the industry. So I'm gaining on combos that I have either worked with artists or that I would do for an artist, but then I'm trying to balance the individuality with the working as a unit. Being on top of it, being clean, being understanding of the assignment. Is it choreography? Is it for a music video? Is it for on camera?
Right.
So I'm gearing towards more tracks and music like that this year because I feel like I've been very lucky enough, I think in the last year, to work a lot more in like R&B artists and a little more pop artists than I'm used to. I normally get a lot of more indie artists, a lot of more experimental, but this year I feel like I've delved a lot into so many different like current artists. Like I did Coachella with Metro Boomin and Weekend, and Charm had me on that job, and it was like the most re-inspiring job to be one with a cast of 50 black males on the Sahara stage. We broke a record.
Amazing.
Like on the Sahara stage, there's never been like 50 black males on that stage.
Wow.
And then to have The Weeknd and to have John Legend, sitting next to John Legend playing a violin, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
To me, it was she really opened my eyes to understand that it can transcend beyond that. Yeah. And we got a balance of being commercial, but we also got to be us. We got to be who we were as Black men, strong, versatile, freestyle. Like no matter what walk of life that was in that room, we all connected on like a cerebral, spiritual level with the industry.
Which you can't say for every project.
No, you really can't. So for me, I feel like that is what I've been trying to transcend from that moment and from the jobs that I've been doing, which has been a lot more through that in the last year, and translating that into this season. So
being able to take all that, put it through the blender that's you, and then being able to give it back. Exactly. It seems like an interesting balance. We talk to these kids a lot about finding yourself and your own creative spirit and how you express yourself, who you are as a mover. But I think there's a balance there on that scale of individuality and free spirit mover, and also, like you said, but know the assignment.
Yes.
And so I think, what would be a message for kids trying to balance that out? Like you said, figuring out who they are, but also understanding how to dance as a unit, how to stay clean, how to know your lines, as Darrell would say. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
Definitely. Ooh.
Like that Darrell Bullock drop right
there. That's my sis.
Know your lines.
She's on Madonna right now, slaying the stage. Just saying. I would say embrace change.
Okay.
I think that's the only way, because that's the most consistent and the most, like, I would say it's the most consistent but the most inconsistent thing that you're gonna embody is change. Like, you're going to feel consistent in change, but you're also gonna not change. You're gonna have these motions. So I think just stay present with change. Stay present with where you are in that moment, and know that nothing is permanent. Like you are more than one thing. Yeah. And I think as you do that, you start to create these little bottles of jars in your body of that present moment. Right. And then what happens is, as jars start to fill up, they break. All in life is one capsule, which is you. And then you just sweat it out. You bleed it out on the dance floor. Yes. So I just say be present with it. I say journal. Like video yourself in every stage, even when you feel crazy. I say analyze who you are as a mover. I think take the time to be mindful of what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And also versus when it feels good, how does it look? And then when it doesn't feel good, how does it look?
That part.
Because I think self-analyzing, like your artistic process and your growth is really, really meaningful. Yep. So that's different for everyone, but that's something that I do. Like I record myself, I watch myself, I'll go back home and record myself doing combos. Yep. I'll record myself in rehearsal for a job and look how I looked on day one, and then fast forward to the performance of last day to compare what I liked and what I didn't like. Yes. And also too, it's also subjective.
Absolutely.
Like nothing's negative or positive, it's all perspective. Absolutely. So just make sure that you're treating your narrative right. Key, mental health.
Key.
Narrative.
Beautiful. You're such an artist and a visual person. So, but the visual, like just the analogy in the jars and the bleeding. I saw the whole thing. I was like, yes, it's happening.
Yes, we're making a good old pot here.
Before we wrap it up, it is Black History Month.
Yes, it is.
Happy Black History Month. We've been doing highlighting our Black creatives here this weekend, and it's, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's even that phrase Black History Month just sounds a little absurd. The idea that we just have a month, but I do think, and I've said it before, we all are so busy and consumed with everything that's going on in our lives and society that it is, I think, important to have a set reminder for people to really
to stamp that.
Yeah, and to take stock of where we've been, where we are, where we're going. I know you just mentioned how meaningful it was to you to have 50 Black males on stage at Coachella, holding it down and expressing yourselves in such a beautiful way. I guess your journey as a Black creative, how much do you identify with that journey? What does Black History Month mean to you? Just talk to me a little bit about your journey and what you've been through as a Black creative growing up.
For me, there's another aspect of me being a Black creative and also queer is that also I have Native American in my family, and actually like my grandma is from the planet, is like literally from the reservation.
Wow.
Like from the Walla Walla and Yakima tribe. So I have different aspects of what I think being, honoring the different culture that I come from Black history to Native American culture, and then even to like my Jamaican and Spanish culture in my family too. It's a big melting pot. Right. So for me, I think is standing in my authenticity and in my truth, no matter where I am, may that be as an artist, may that be in my lifestyle with my friends. I think just being prideful to know that I come from something. It may not be like the prettiest thing, it may not be the most glamorous thing, but it's meaningful, and it all matters, from the ups to the downs. I'm prideful to know that I'm still here. I honor the fact that there are people before me that have fought for our freedoms and to be equal in these arenas of life,
Right.
may that be, you know, from fiscally to job orientated, you know what I mean, to all these different things. Like,
Who's someone personal to you that really was representation for you coming up?
I mean, dance-wise or personally?
I guess you can take that any way you want. I mean,
I'll do dance-wise. I would have to say, like, Roger Lee. Roger Lee was a big dance father to me from Texas. He did Justin, he did Janet. Like, he was the one that I know was like, you know, doing like the movement coaching. Jonte Moaning, he's also from Oregon. He's another Black queer artist for me that stood like really, really true and strong and was just on the Renaissance tour.
Amazing.
I would also have to say like Danielle Polanco, Durrell Bullock, also my big sis, like another dance person, like Luther, obviously, of course, like he's another strong Black man from Canada doing his thing. There's women, I mean, like we got Andy J here, like she's people that also I turn to as well.
Had the pleasure of sitting down with her at this table
yesterday. You know
yesterday.
what I mean, like Rhapsody, Lisette, I mean, pretty much all the women and men here and Monsters have always, that are Black, have always instilled in me. Growing up as a person, man, I would have to say definitely, I mean, my grandpa to me was always someone that was very strong and a stoic, a man of, like, not so many words, but he was always the first one in his job to get a raise. He was always the first one to provide for our family. He stood for us. He was clean, he was sharp. He taught us not to be like prejudiced with people that, you know, that like treat us wrong, you know, he just really stood in that. And so did my mom and my dad, like I feel like my parents were very strong with not letting the generational trauma affect our spirit and our emotional health. And I feel like they didn't instill too much fear, being scared of being prejudiced against me as a person, but they were like, but you stand true to who you are, no matter wherever you go. So
it speaks to the power of parenting.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, and I had really strong friends too, you know what I mean, that were also reminding me of my power and to stay true to myself. And I have a very diverse group of friends, and so I'm really proud of myself in having that too as well.
To close this out, there's no doubt that being at a Monsters event as a faculty member and being a teacher, an educator, an industry leader, you certainly are representation for young Black, maybe queer creatives out there. What values do you hope to lead by example with? You said your grandpa led by example.
Yeah.
You know, what do you hope to lead by example with? What kind of values and what do you want them to see as they look up to you for representation?
I think, I say enjoy all the colors of who you are. Enjoy every ounce and every hypocritical, every strong thing, everything that makes sense, embrace it all. Because when you love yourself wholeheartedly, you are going to love and create the world that's not only going to change the world around you, but it's going to change the world inside of yourself. So I make sure to love everything about yourself unapologetically.
That's a beautiful way to end it here. I wish we could go longer. We will. We certainly will.
We will. You already know.
Gerran, you already know the deal.
You already know. Give me a hug. I love you. You're the best.
Libby Rome, we out.
Bye, guys.